What's up, guys? This is Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to give you guys a very quick update about SPY and the markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. So President Trump put this on his Truth Social page. He said that he completed a very productive call with President Xi of China. They made lots of progress when it comes to addressing lots of issues. And they also have the approval of a new TikTok deal. So that is some important news that came out. He also talked about how they have a good relationship, and once again, things have been going very well. He did also mention those things. So for now, that's very important. He also talked about how sometime within the next year, he's going to likely meet up with um, President Xi Jinping, and they're going to likely discuss a lot of different things. So, with the productive meeting that President Trump claims he had, the market is optimistic. And we start off with this sell off. We're trying to bounce right now. If SPY could get back above 662.8, we could be trying to fill this gap back up to 663.5. I know the levels are kind of tight right now because SPY has been shopping for the most part. But even if we do push to fill this gap, we could still turn back down, close kind of flat. I believe that for the most part, we're just inside of a range. Although there is some potential to try to fill this gap, we could still turn down afterwards. I still think SPY is going to likely trade sideways for the most part, not really doing too much today because of all the option expirations. So could we go higher? It's possible we try to push to fill that gap, but then I do think that we're going to likely come back down and close kind of flat, if not a little bit in the red. That's what I think is most likely going to happen. Lots of sideways price action, nothing too crazy. The QQQ is looking a bit more bullish, though it did break all-time highs near 598. It could try to go for 599, then turn back down and just continue to trade sideways. We've been stuck in a range pretty much throughout the entire day, so there's not really a whole lot going on. The IWM started off with a push to about 246, came back down. It could try to push for 244 and then consolidate for now. ES is range bound, looking for an attempt for all-time highs, then maybe a dip again, and just sideways price action. As you can tell, we're just going sideways on ES the last like 2 days. Lots of sideways price action. Look for an attempt for all-time highs. A dip back down, just more sideways price action. NQ is looking more bullish. It's above 24,800, which is a good sign. Could be going for 24,850. Then it could turn back down to 24,750 and bounce and trade kind of sideways. On Bitcoin, we could try to bounce back up towards 116,250. If we lose 115,500, we're going to turn lower, but I think that the odds favor 116,250, if anything. For Tesla, as you guys can tell, we're kind of like dipping a little bit. We start off with a nice pump, and then we just dip back down. So we could be dipping back down towards the 420 area, and we'll see if we bounce or not off this area. I do anticipate some downside potential. We'll see if we bounce or not. But if anything, Tesla's still holding up quite well. Watch and see 420 and see if we bounce off that. I still think that we're holding up nicely. We haven't really lost any critical support. If we lose like 415, yes, my mind could change. But for now, Tesla could dip a bit more than try to bounce and trade sideways. So look for 420 to be tested. We'll see if we bounce. For Nvda, we did talk about a rejection that was coming. We did push to 178, but we failed to hold above it. And this white trend line is acting as resistance on the 4-hour time frame. So right here on the 4-hour, you guys can see that we're still rejecting off this white trend line. We could revisit 174 and we'll see if we bounce from there. So be careful. Apple, however, is bullish. We got some good news that came out, which is helping Apple break out. We're actually above this wedge, so we're still favoring new highs. And we could be looking for 246 as our resistance. There is upside potential in my personal opinion. For others out there, we also happen to have Palantir, which is also looking quite bullish. Nice breakout. As long as we don't lose 180, we could be looking for 188 as our targets. Look for 185 and 188. AMD is looking more bullish. Could be retesting 159 to 160, and we'll see if it rejects. Could see some upside. Coinbase is going to be favoring 349 as our resistance, so more upside. Amazon's going to be favoring basically 235. Meta is a little bit weak right now. It needs to hold 772. If not, we could be dipping to 765. Google's looking more bullish, favoring 255 and eventually a break of the highs. And Microsoft is also favoring the test of the trend line at 515, so it's kind of flat. The VIX is trying to push here. It's kind of flat as well, not really breaking up or down, so it's still stuck in the middle. So that being said, the market is looking a little bit more bullish. It might try to push a bit higher on SPY to fill our gap. But as time goes on, we could reject and then turn back down towards, the 661s and close kind of flats, which I think is what SPY is going to be doing. So could we go a bit hard to fill the gap? Yes. Then we could turn back down, just trade sideways. There's going to be a lot of chops, so be careful of trading options because of all of the option expirations due to quadruple witching. So that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Have a good rest of your guys' days, and peace out.